Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Monday, the 18th of November. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some of what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts. I'm not here to issue trading signals. Right, I was saying at the bigger picture yesterday that what happened here was we had a bull flag which broke down. It happens about 30% of the time actually, but I've drawn in the target for that, and we've already made that target. We made it down to the daily middle band support level that I was talking about on Friday morning, and if we see a retest of this low today, then we will get a very nice possible 60-minute buy signal brewing. Exactly the same, I would say on NDX. I've got more to say about these on the RTH charts, and we've got 15-minute buy signals fixed pretty much across the board on the RTH charts. On RTY, we already have a 60-minute buy signal fixed, although for some reason the arrow I put in there earlier didn't actually make it. Hang on the reboot. So hang on, let's just put that in again. All right, so we've already got a 60-minute buy signal fixed on RTY. I'm just saving that to make sure it's in for later. All right, and on YM, we got another one. So we've got quite a lot of positive divergence already. RTY, we had a head and shoulders. I haven't marked it in here, but I have marked it in on the RTH chart. YM, we've got a head and shoulders, and that's broken down. That hasn't made target yet. I've got that target in about the 43,125 area, and I'm wondering if that might still make target. DAX and STX just consolidating in a sideways direction as they have been for a few weeks. The Trump rally never really happened outside the US, and I'll be doing a post on that. I was planning one at the weekend, but I didn't get to it because my son was up, but I'll be doing one in the next 2 or 3 days. So here we've got buy signals fixed on RTY, YM, and we've got ones which could develop if we see retests of Friday's lows on ES and NQ. That would be quite a nice lot of, if we obviously bounced at those retests, or close to them, that is, of course. That's pretty nice looking low setup for today. Looking at the 15-minute chart, I've drawn in the breakaway gap on Trump's victory is here. Normally, until this trend is finished, I'd expect that to hold. So I'm watching for that to hold. If we see a breakdown significantly through it, then that could be an issue. We could be doing something else which would be more bearish. We've got buy signals fixed basically on 15 minutes pretty much across the board. Nothing on the hourly charts, but we could develop that with retests of the low in RTH today. On the daily chart, we came down and we closed basically on the daily middle band. So that is a full test of that support. We came slightly below it on ES, but closed just slightly above it. But basically, anything within a few that's a visual close on the band is just a visual close on the band. It's not a break, even if it's slightly below. It's just a test of the support. Looking at SPY, the same, as you'd expect. All right, looking at the Qs, we actually broke the daily middle band. We closed at 496.57. I've got the daily middle band at 499.32, but it's the only one of the main four indices, and it's not enough really to start getting excited about the downside. On the hourly chart, no current positive divergence, but you can see we've got a trend line which I'm wondering if we'll hit, and we would hit within this breakaway gap line as well. So I've got that currently in about the 493.5 area, and I'm wondering if we might see that on a retest today, and hopefully it would hold and give us a nice trend line. To get through that trend line, it would also need to get through this breakaway gap area. All right, looking at Dow, we're well short of the daily middle band here. Nothing really on the hourly. Here we've got head and shoulders, and this one. You remember this one never failed. We came up and came pretty close to the right shoulder, but it never failed, and it's basically made the target now. So against the one we've got on YM, which hasn't made target, we've got one here on Dia, which has made target, and we're at the top of this breakaway gap zone here. All right, let's have a look at IWM. Well above the daily middle band, but not as much as Dia. I've drawn in all the new week pivots, of course, yesterday. We've got an old RSI 14 sell signal fixed on the daily on IWM, which I'm not really taking any notice of at this stage. We made all the hourly targets, and we've got a possible RSI 5 buy signal brewing here. On the 15-minute chart, buy signals across the board, pretty much as always, and the head and shoulders here has also made target. I'm liking a low in this area. If we don't see a low in this area, then I have got some other thoughts. It's not what I'm expecting to see, but the market doesn't always do what we're expecting. I'd be looking for a possible trend line target, which could be hit in about the 57.75 area, and I've got, in the event that we get through these brief breakaway gaps, I would be looking at a couple of other areas. I've got a possible head and shoulder neckline at 56.96.51, and even if we're topping out, there's obviously a pretty much a 70% chance that we would retest the high. So that would be something I would be leaning towards seeing regardless, unless we came down to this neckline here and started forming a head and shoulders there. But we've basically got two here, 56.74, 56.96, and both of those are the head and shoulder options that I would be watching in that event, which at the moment I'm not leaning towards seeing. All right, let's have a look at Nikkei and DAX. DAX is still holding below the daily middle band, as it has been holding basically for the whole last week. Nikkei below the daily middle band as well, and we will see how that goes today. But at the moment, this is still in the potential topping pattern that I was pointing out before Trump's victory. We need to see a break we need to see a retest of 40.3 to kill that off, and a break above to open up 42.4k, which is where I'm ideally thinking we will head by Christmas. All right, let's have a look at DX. DX probably needs a high retest. Looks like a bull flag forming. High retest would give us more negative divergence. ZB, we actually came pretty close to a retest this low, but actually looking at the hang on 1 second. Right, looking at the TNX chart, we did retest the high on it. Now that gives us a potential double top, and it gives us quite a lot of negative divergence on the daily chart. But it also gives us this flag here, which is a very nice flag, potentially starting to break up. It may be that we're not going to see the big rally. We've got quite a decent setup for it. If we're going to see a big rally on ZB, then this would be a double top, and a sustained break below 42.64 would be looking for a target down here at about the 40.4 area, maybe 40.25 to 40.5 approximately. That would be a very nice rally on ZB, but if we don't see it and we continue straight up from here, then we've got a target at 49.97, and we might just be heading there directly. In terms of a retest of this high, much as I thought it was unlikely, just because the distance was so great and inflation is going down and interest rates are going down, but we've got from 36 to 45 already. We've got less than 5 to go to retest that high, and I think that is very much on the cards, and this bull flag is saying that really it's the obvious next big target. All right, let's have a look at CL. CL has come back, retested the lows. We've got a possible double bottom here, and we've now pretty much reached the double top target. So I would also note, though, that we're within $3 of a retest of the low at 63.57, and I'm thinking that might well be something we're going to be doing sooner rather than later. If we're going to do that, then I'd expect to see the retest of this low first in about the 66.3 area, and then lower. NG, wondering if an overall bear flag is forming. If so, we'll probably see a higher high over this high here at 3.02 next. GC, now I was asked the other day if we could be making a serious low here, and the answer is yes and no. Yes, we may well be making a very serious low too, but no, the low may not be in yet. We may well be seeing a retest of the low to make it lower, even if the dollar is turning here, and it doesn't have to. We could see the dollar head up to the 109.5 area. I've got a trend line there. I'm wondering about it. And if so, we'd probably see significant further downside on precious metals. The other thing to mention here is We've gone to we had an RSI 14 sell signal, which is a pretty strong sell signal, and I normally just watch the RSI 5s on the gold chart, and that's now made target. But we don't have any positive divergence on the daily RSI, and really a low prospects would be much improved if we did get that. I'm leaning towards seeing a retest of that low. And retests of the highs on the US dollar. We will see how that goes. On SI, we've broken over the declining resistance, and I'm watching for a potential bottoming pattern to form here. We've got a couple of options. We've got an IHS neckline in about 31.25 area. We've got another good one in about 32.25 area, and those would seem the obvious options at the moment, although the low retest is always an option as well. 60-minute buy signal has made target. GC, it's made target as well. HG, we didn't have one. If we did, but that would have made. Oh no, sorry, we did have one, but obviously it made target a while ago. Does this look like a bottoming pattern? Not yet. But again, a low retest might well improve that significantly. Looking at KC, KC has gone higher. I think we might have reached my trend line target actually. So bear with me a moment. I'm just going to have a look. Right. KC. Okay. All right. KC, I've got a target up here in about the 2.86 area, and we've gone through it, haven't we? We have. Okay, we've gone through that trend line overnight. That may mean that we're going to go significantly higher still. We do have a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing, and it's pretty close to fixing. We may be close to a retracement. On SB, nice looking overall flag, but having said that, my trend lines have got worse when we went a little lower here, but it still looks like a long bullish consolidation. We had started mid-September, and this is all bullish consolidation. So this should break up in due course into a retest this high, and it might be starting that move now. On CC, this has gone higher, and then we've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed. It's broken the short-term rising support, and it's pulling back. I'm just looking for a retracement here, and then probably higher. I've got a target in about the 9,500 area, I think, at a retest of the high, and there's no particular reason to think that it stops there. ZW, I'm leaning towards seeing a retest of this low at this stage. Corn, we saw a nice rally on Friday, but I'm leaning towards seeing lower here too. And soy, we saw a nice rally on Friday as well. Most of that has already been given back, and I'm expecting to see a retest of this low in about the 976 area, 977. That's a pretty decent support level, and if we get there, that may well be setting up a decent quality double bottom. On CT, CT gone lower, expecting it to go probably a bit lower as well. I think these have all basically been doing low retests because of the rise in the dollar. Lumber pulling back a bit. We've got a 60-minute sell signal fixed from a while back, which is trying to play out. We're just back testing the weekly pivot at the moment, though. On lean hogs, looks like a bull flag that's breaking up. Not the best quality one. Sorry, live cattle rather. Not the best quality one so far, though. And lean hogs, we've got this very long trending pattern, which is actually broken down. We've got a little double top here with a target in about the 80.9 to 81.25 area, and I'm thinking that will probably make target, and then keeping an open mind. It may be that a pattern this long is going to require more of a retracement, so we shall see. All right, great. Let's have a look at questions. No questions. So yeah, morning guys, and hope everyone had a great weekend. And it should be an interesting week. I'm not expecting it to break down, but there is of course always the possibility it might break down. In the short term though, as I said, we've got bicycles, 60-minute bicycles fixed on RTY and YM, and if we see retest of Friday's lows, then we'll get ones brewing on ES and NQ as well. I'm leaning towards seeing a low here. Hang on. It depends which low on GC, really. But there are levels on GC. I'll just go through them quickly now. All right, let's have a look. Metals. All right, I'll look at GC as well, but mainly I'll be, for the longer term stuff, I'm mainly looking at the gold index chart. Looking at GC, we've got a big level down here at about 2,500, which has a pretty good chance of holding. And if we don't, we've got a really good level down at 2,350, which I'd be expecting to hold. Looking at the bigger picture charts on the index, that's down at about 2,500 and 2,300. One of those two I would expect to hold. What I would note is if we are retracing, if we get down to this rising support trend line, which is very much a target, and that is in the 2375 area, if we were to get down there and break it, and I'm not saying we are close to that, and I'm not saying we would do that, but if we did, hang on. If we did, I would note that this level here in the 2300 area would be a pretty good match with a 50% retracement of that area. I wouldn't really expect it to see it any lower than that. I would be surprised. And frankly, we haven't even really got a topping pattern here. I'd be surprised to see it go that low. I'd be leaning towards seeing this level here in the 2500 area hold. If it didn't hold, I'd be leaning towards seeing this trend line. And if that didn't hold, then maybe 2,300. But 2,300 is further than realistically I think this would go. And I don't think dollar's got. I'm looking for where a likely fail in the dollar would come. I'm not expecting it to sky up. I think I'm looking for the fail area, and I think we're going to get it in the not too distant future. It could be in this area here. We could go up into the 109.5 area, but you can see on the daily chart we've got no positive divergence here at all. Really very low levels on the 10. Not the lowest we've seen on this chart, but very low. And you will note that we don't always get the positive divergence, particularly on these very strong moves. And it may be that it'll just turn and come back up. But those are the levels I'll be watching. All right, great. In that case, I think that's a wrap, guys. I will have everything posted ASAP, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow.